regarding Prince Reza Pahlavi's standing among the Iranian people, I wasn't optimistic enough. I thought that those people are a minority, but now I think that they are basically next to non-existent when it comes to their ability to challenge Prince Reza Pahlavi. So in my mind, the ability to for the MEK or the leftists or the reformers to provide any other alternative to Khamenei has basically is the chances of that being able to be successful is very very low. So that was to me that used to be the greatest threat. That's why on the Atheist Republic Persian channel to our Iranian audience, we were focusing a lot of our attention on attacking the anti-Pahlavi groups. But after what we saw happen, now we're telling Iranians like they're not even worth our time anymore because they have been completely like defeated based on what the Iranian people have done inside and outside of Iran. So we said that given like a lot of people want me to focus more my attention on defending Reza Pahlavi, and I was like, what is the point anymore? Like the Princess of Pahlavi has won, right? We need to focus right now on supporting President Trump so that the military operations continue. And even that doesn't seem to be that big of a threat right now because half of the Democrats, more than half of the Democrats seem to be like on board with this. So it doesn't seem like the progressives are that much of a chance to be able to do anything against President Trump. But it's the biggest risk, so we have to take it seriously. But it doesn't seem to be that high. So, and also when it comes to the safety of Princess Pahlavi and him coming to Iran early, that concerns me that he keeps saying that he's going to come soon, and maybe he says that he might even come before the Islamic Republic falls. And I'm like, what? But I'm sure they have access to more information than I do. So I know this is a concern to me, but it's based on my concern. It's based on limited information, and I trust that Princess Pahlavi and his team are working on a much better information that I have, and I'm pretty sure that Princess Pahlavi's safety is like under their highest priority. So I'm just gonna, given that how good they were until now when it comes to their decision making, I'm going to trust that they know what they're talking about when it comes to Princess of Pahlavi coming back whenever they think that he should come to Iran. Um, but yeah, but as to answer your question, those are the main two that comes to my mind. Nothing
Uh,
else really comes to my mind. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Another quick update. Seems like the assembly elected Mujtaba as the next supreme leader. And then also, my other concern was that a lot of the people in Tehran who I got to speak to, and other people have confirmed this, but they are concerned that people are their patience is running thin. They haven't been able to sleep. They're shocked at the destruction. Some of them are considering leaving the city. Do you think that could potentially have any effect?
Wait, you're getting reports that people in Iran l- are losing patience when it comes to the military operations? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
some
saying?
people.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Where are you getting that? Because that's not what everything I'm getting shows that people are celebrating this. So I don't know where you're getting that from.
no, and I see that too, and I love that. It's just that a couple of people that I have spoken to say that their patience is running thin. So that got me thinking.
This is day 4. How, like, I don't know who's saying that. Like, we're on day 4. Their patience is running is thin on day 4.
I'm with you. I'm with you all the way.
Oh,
That's what I've been saying.
okay. I don't know I don't know who you're talking to, but tell them that they should be prepared for. If it was me, I would be. Well, I mean, I shouldn't speak that because I shouldn't say that because I'm outside of Iran. And I don't want to speak to the Iranian people inside Iran regarding how they should be feeling. But let me say it this way: what I'm hearing from almost everybody else I talk to is that they're so excited about everything is happening. I'm even hearing some Iranians saying that they're willing to put up for this for years if that's what it takes. I'm not saying it will take that, but I'm hearing that some Iranians I'm talking to that later saying if this even if this phase takes 2 or 3 years, they're willing to accept that price if that's the price to get rid of the Islamic Republic. All right.
Armin, Jeffrey has something to add to this, and then Sapir as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Guys,
so
when you're adding something, just try to keep it in 1 minute so that we could get to the other people into the list as well. Thank you.
so the mission is slotted to last 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, we hit over 2,000 targets in 24 hours. That's like the most comprehensive and intensive air campaign ever conducted in the history of human warfare. Right now, we're expanding the target sets to include things like IRGC and besiege headquarters that are smaller, if there's any left. I mean, they're definitely focusing on like transport erector launchers and drone, launch facilities and or stockpiles because they're trying to sit there and bring down the rapidly diminishing indirect fire capability the Mullah regime is trying to launch, which is both badly executed and uncoordinated because their entire command and control has been obliterated, like obliterated. I guess my question would be, what exactly are the people who are frustrated, not to dismiss their lived experience because they've gone through hell? What exactly were they expecting? I guess I'm asking.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're speaking, Ali's example is anecdotal. So I don't even know if we, obviously you're right, Jeffrey, like this is what you should be expecting, but I don't want people who might be listening to this later to assume that this is a big portion of people because we don't have any stats. And by focusing on, maybe I don't know how many people Ali has heard this from, we might be making like presenting something, making something bigger than what it actually is by basically amplifying the voice of maybe one or two people. So we have to be careful about that.
What I did see reports and video footage of is people coming out of Tehran, not out of like impatience. It's usually to follow instructions, or like out of fear. Like I don't know if anyone saw, but there were a few cases of Iranians taking videos of how it looks like when the bombs are hit. So you will see some influx of people out of Tehran, but it's not because of impatience and or anything. And I'm sorry, I gotta go to the shelter.
Go! Sapira's like, oh, I'll say this before we go, and Jeffrey's like, get down there now, girl.
Armin, I see that your microphone is off, but we don't hear you if you're
Oh,
speaking to us.
yeah. So I had a video of this woman who was crying in Iran with bare feet on the ground, holding like a Quran or something in her hand, and she was crying. And the cameraman comes to her, and they say, "What happened?" She said, "My house was destroyed." And they ask her, "I'm trying to find that video," and they ask her if she. Oh, maybe I could just go to Kuche, and they ask her like, was your house next to like some military location or whatever? And she said like basically no, like, oh, and she's like, my house is destroyed, and she's shaken, and she's like feels stressed. And if you actually pay attention to that video, you can see that it's clearly staged. And then Iranian people have found other videos of her playing, acting for the Islamic Republic in different scenarios, right? So you have to be careful about these videos because they're trying to. Oh, there we go. I found this. Let me see if I can show. Yeah. So look at this. Share video. So this is why you have to be very careful. Look at this.
خود را به خوبی نشان می‌دهد. زنی را
So you can see this woman at the bottom. She's actually
روی زمین نشانده‌اند با پای برهنه و نهج البلاغه به بغلش داده.
look. They give her a natural balaqeh like this. They made it so obvious because not only she's crying that her house has been destroyed, like you shouldn't have done this. This is natural balaqeh. This is Imam Ali's book, right? So when they're making this propaganda, you can see this is from Tasneem, which is the IRGC's news outlet. So when she's crying that her house has been destroyed, first of all, she made sure that she covers her hair with whatever. she's holding a Nahj al-Balagha, like showing like, oh my gosh, she's such a good woman, because from all the things that she could have grabbed from her house, Imam Ali's book was the one that she picked and kept on holding. And she doesn't have shoes on and she's crying.
دند تا بگویند خانه‌اش بمباران شده. اما از
Look at
همین
this.
زن روز قبل
So they could see that this is the same woman that they had a video of a few days
ویدیوی
ago.
مصاحبه با عوامل حکومت موجود است. یعنی بازیگرهایشان محدود هستند.
Which shows that they're also very limited when it comes to the number of actors that they have. So they're look at this. Like, even the question is obvious that this is staged. They're asking her like, Miss, has your house been it was completely residential? Like, who asks that question in such a situation, right? Like, ma'am, was your house completely residential? And the surrounding houses were also completely residential. Like, you know, I was on the third floor. Is like anyone in your? Is there anyone in your house? What? Like nobody else. is there. Like, ma'am, was there any military bases next to your house? Like, this is obviously being questioned. Like, this is a video that is being prepared so that people think like, why is Israel attacking houses when there is no military bases there? But the questions are clearly picked to make this video this is a video that is being made for foreign media to be like, oh my god, look, they're attacking residential buildings that are not next to any military bases.
در همدان
But again,
زنی
but again, you can see that this woman was used before. If you look at the above as well, the Iranian people went and figured out that this is a woman that apparently is used often for videos like this, right? So this was so obviously staged. So you have to be careful about these types of stories.
Happy double Purim. And I just want to say that this is the happiest Purim I ever remember, because even though we're not exactly celebrating and partying, I'm celebrating and partying like I'm just glued to Iran Revolution live. And I just wanted to say that the previous video, I want to call it Durkawood, or Durkawood, basically. I have a question. The question is this. It seems like, based on what you're saying, Armin, that if you took a poll right now of Iranians, if you take away like the people who support the Durkas, then we get like 99% people for Pahlavi. Okay, but that's not always been the case, I don't think. Otherwise, we would have this happen a lot sooner. So I'm just trying to understand, is this a moment in time when everyone's united around him because they were shooting into the crowds? Or what's going on here? Like, if you take a poll in Israel, everyone's voting for a different party, right? If you took a poll in US, it's split between Republicans and Democrats. So I'm hoping what you're saying is true, and for the transition, we get only Pahlavi and no one else takes over this revolution, but it's also a very sensitive moment. Having said that, Israel prepared this for 20 years, this moment. So we are living in very historic times. So it's a very unusual period of time, and my spirit is elevated if all of this is correct. So I'm just crossing fingers that it all goes through very nicely and we get Pahlavi in Iran very soon, and the Iranian people can choose him freely without any shots being fired, which is what I think we're making sure that happens over the next few months here. But just to the question is like, has it always been the case? What happened now that suddenly everyone's behind Pahlavi? In the past, we didn't have that, or at least outside
right.
of Iran, people didn't
Yeah.
think that. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm done talking.
That's okay. Okay. First of all, I never said that. Let me actually never said I never ever. But can you close your mic when I'm speaking? No one ever suggested that everybody is supporting Prince Reza Pahlavi, and also we don't have any polls with regards to from the Islamic Republic forces how many people have defected. to Prince Reza Pahlavi. There is no number regarding that. We know that the numbers are high, but we don't have exact numbers. But what we do know is that Prince Reza Pahlavi's name is the only one's name that is being called in the streets of Iran when it comes to the leader of the revolution and the leader of the transition period. We know that the polls of Iranian people that have been conducted so far, we have everything when it comes to the level of support that he has before this Lion and Sun revolution is anything, the polls that we had so far is anything between 49% to 80%. And even the 49% has been conducted by somebody who's anti-Pahlavi himself, the person who is conducting that poll. So even if we go with the minimum, is 49 before the Lion and Sun revolution, which means that this revolution obviously has an impact. So even if we go with the most pessimistic one, which is 49, he's obviously now over 49% and above 50, which means that he has the majority of the support among the Iranian people, with nobody else coming even close. It's not like he's the majority and then there's other people who are at 30, 20, 40. He's above 50% and there is no one else. Like there's absolutely no one else. So, and also when it comes to comparing his level of support to other countries where there's multiple parties and there are different politicians have different level of support, it's a false analogy, because you're comparing one period to the post-transition period to the revolution and transition period, right? When it comes to a level of support a politician has in a secular democracy and how many people would vote for him, that is for the post-transition period. We're in the middle of a war. We're in the middle of a revolution. Okay. So there's three phases: the revolution phase, the transition phase, and the post-transition phase, right? So the interesting thing is that during the revolution phase, if you look at it historically, the level of support that you need for a successful revolution as a revolutionary leader is like 10% or 20%. And even though but we have more than 50% for Prince Reza Pahlavi, right? We don't have 10 and 20%. We have way more than 50%. But uh, so, so the level of support that you're comparing the revolution phase to, you're comparing the revolution phase numbers that we have to other countries at the time that everything is settled and you have a functioning secular democracy. So you're comparing apples to oranges. If you want to see if the level of support Prince Reza Pahlavi has in the revolution phase, you have to compare it to other leaders in history during the revolution phase, not the level of support a politician has after the country is already functioning as a secular democracy. But based on those standards, Prince Reza Pahlavi, I mean, even based on the standards that you're comparing it to, Prince Reza Pahlavi has amazingly high amount of support. But imagine if you actually compare apples to apples, which is comparing the support that he has in a revolution phase to other leaders during a revolution phase, then it actually looks even more impressive. But beyond that, it's not just the level of support somebody has, it's also the kind of support that he has, right? It's not that people just like, oh yeah, I like him, I would vote for him. That's not the kind of, so level of support. And let's look at the kind of support. It's not that I would vote for him, it's I would die for him. That's the type of support that he has. So don't just look at the quantity, also look at the quality of the support that he has. All right.
It would be interesting to actually have you go over what happened in the 79 revolution exactly. And that's, it's a whole other podcast. Don't do it now or anything, or maybe do it as a lesson in school, I would say, like, or do it at some
Yeah,
point. I wouldn't go into it right now,
we
but
will.
it
We
would be
will.
interesting to
We
hear from
will.
your perspective.
Yeah, we will. We will get to those. We have so much. We have decades for that. Okay, we'll get to those. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next up we have Marcy.
Another thing you had in mind.
Marcy.
So he's really happy we've been talking a lot. So he's going to be screaming in the background. But I'm so sorry. My question was, I was seeing a lot about the defectors like you were talking about, right? So I saw Trump mention that they're trying to get, but wouldn't it be more, I mean, like more justice wise, wouldn't it be better if they were sent to the Iranian people, brought to justice in Iran, and then those people were the ones to decide whether or not they get immunity. So I'm really curious, like, how that's all going to play out, as well as like all these kids, like these kids that are in their 20s that have been brainwashed. Like, I feel bad for them because it's not their fault. It's like the parents and the way they were raised. And does that make sense?
Wait, the first part, can you say the first part again? Like the Iranian people giving them justice instead of what? Like, what's the option that you
Yeah,
think
the
to vote?
defectors, I heard Trump. Yeah, I heard Trump mention that the defectors are the people like that are asking him for immunity, are asking the US government. But wouldn't it be more fair as far as justice is concerned for the Iranian people to make that? Like, what's your perspective?
Okay.
For me, I think it's the Iranian people that need to make that, even if that means that those people die for their crimes. You know, justice needs to be served.